Hey there, lads and lasses. This here is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a Saturday. It is a little bit past 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And usually I'd be streaming Kachi Time about an hour into the Kachi Time stream, but Kachi decided to forego today's stream. So I'm going to instead stream some Baby Zombie Rush today. So I needed about an hour to prep before that, and I was having a lot of fun with Baby Zombie Rush this morning, making quite a bit of progress there and stuff. So I figured, hey, let's just stream that today. Let's keep the momentum going. All right. Let's switch on over to the display scene. There we go. Hey there. Okay. So when last we left our intrepid game designer, we were working on the beacon feature. So the idea behind this would be the player gets trapped in, comes to one of the dead end features, presses the button. It then activates 4 beacons and their beacon effects for a certain amount of time, and then it shuts down. So that is over here. So this morning I had some ideas. I was, when I was waking up, I was kind of in that semi-sleep state in the morning where my brain's waking up. Sometimes my brain doesn't wake up. My body does, but my brain doesn't. But this morning it was going. And I had some ideas and stuff, and I wanted to try them out. And so I figured, okay, I'll log on to Baby Zombie Rush. And I made some pretty cool progress. So, let's see. Player comes down to this dead end here. Oh, wait, that's not supposed to be there. Hold on. Why? Thunder, why? It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be like that. Well, now I've activated it, and I should not have. Well, there goes my demo. But you can see it activates the beacons here, like this. I forgot to reset afterwards. It activates the beacons. In the upper right above me, you can see the various effects that are activated. The effect should stay with the player for 1 minute. So I timed the amount of items in the dropper, and I'll show how that works in just a moment. And so the player presses the button, activates the beacons, and the beacon effects increase speed, regeneration, and strength, and I believe jump boost too. And the player can then juke and then head on their way, baby zombies in pursuit. And they have the effect for up to about a minute, and they also can see the beacon before the beacon shuts off. And so, and then the effects remain for about, I think it's 13 to 17 seconds after the beacon ceases. So let me go down here and make sure that I'm reset for everything. That's in its place. That's in its place. Yes. Yes. Okay. Cool. Let's do this the way it's intended to be done now. Everything filled in, so it's completely conspicuous. Inconspicuous. Conspicuous. Thunder, please. Again, player comes around here. Hits this. There we go. See? Beacon comes on. Effects kick in. Player can juke baby zombies. I'm still in creative mode, so I'm not getting the jump effect the way it should be. There we go. We have increased speed. If you see, if we go into here, you can see night vision, resistance, regeneration, jump boost, strength. I think jump boost should be speed. We should switch that out to speed. And then the player can also use the beacons for the moment while it's on anyway to try to get some sort of coordination of where they are in the maze. Now, I had thought about disabling this afterwards for like maybe 5 or 10 minutes before it resets. But because, the player could come over here, hit this, run around, come back, hit it again, run around, hit back. But you know what? The player can't really get far enough, really, before it wears off. And it's not really that beneficial. If you have 10 baby zombies on you, it's not really that helpful. If you don't have any baby zombies, it's still not that helpful. It is a little bit, but you get out past a certain distance away, and then the beacon shuts off, and then the effects wear off, and it's like, So what this does is it gives you a chance to escape this, and that's the idea. We could extend this and make this last a little bit longer, like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, possibly. But that depends. Maybe after we make the first couple of runs, we'll see, we'll get some performance data from the player or players, and then we may make some changes to that, if that's the case. But let us get back into creative mode here for a moment. I'm just going to temporarily stick a button on the side there so we can see what has to happen there. Let's take a look down. Everything's reset. Great. So I think you can see what's happening there, right? When you press the button, sends a signal here, lights up this redstone. The observer sees it. But since it's direct without any pulse limiter on it, this piston fires twice. It's a sticky piston, picks up the block, sets it down. You get 2 pulses out of this. But this is not a sticky piston. So it just pushes that down into place, sets back up. And also, it keeps the player from spamming the button because it's not a sticky piston, so that just stays into place, right? Then I have an Ether Hopper clock on here. When the items run out, it resets the Ether Hopper clock. This moves back into position. It then returns the block. You see I have an inverter here. See the circuit around. It returns the blocks to obstruct the beacons, shutting them off. This will flash when this begins filling again, when the blocks from here start to move back over there. It'll activate that comparator. Then we have a combination T flip-flop here with a pulse limiter. We'll come over here, and then this non-sticky piston just pushes that back up into place to reset it. It's very, very cool. I really enjoyed making this. This was a lot of fun to do. Then after it sets, the player can use it again. But like I said, there's not really too much an advantage of using it multiple times in a short interval. The point is the player can then carry on in the rest of the maze, and if the player happens to come around here again, it's ready to use again. Beacons are complete. We're finished with this. This is very cool. Let's copy over. And I think beacons aren't necessarily neutral, and these are definitely beneficial. Let me make sure that I get the right one here. So I should be pressing Control and then middle mouse wheel. And I can come on over to here. Now, where's the front? The front is there. Let's do that. And this is 19. And down here, we need to update our sign. Beacons. There we go. Just like that. And that is another feature completed. So happy. Ugh. So I set up Stream Elements to have a announcement banner that runs every 13 minutes through the stream, and it's been 13 minutes over that, and we haven't had it do its thing. That is not good. Don't like it when things don't work. Let's update this now over on the progress board. I'm trying to anyway. All right, we can break this down. Let's get over to here like this. And I'll do that and that. There we go. Copied. Then we'll come on over to here. And I just recalled something. Beneficial ones are supposed to be green. Not purple. There we go. Let's go back over and we'll change this one over here. Nice. Nope. That's not what I wanted. That's definitely not beneficial. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. That's what we want. Okay, cool. Progress. Any progress is good progress. Okay, so our goal is we have 27 dead ends. We want roughly 3, 9, 9, and 9. And so we have, eventually I'll have 9 beneficial features, 9 detrimental features, and 9 kind of neutral ones. Before we get too much into everything else, though, we came up with something very cool this morning. We made quite a bit of progress this morning. Now, our button activation that we've been using up until now works kind of like this. You can imagine that this is the pathway throughout the maze. This is the wall. Of course, there'd be another wall here, right? Player comes up. This would be a dead end corner here. They press the button, and then things happen, right? So on the opposite side, you may recall how this works. The main kind of activation system I have, which we just saw in action, works kind of like this. We press the button here. It fires this redstone dust. The observer sees it, sends a quick double pulse here through the target block down to this. This sends a rapid enough double pulse where the sticky piston will pick up this block and then drop it down back into place. It actually resets it. So on the player side, the player doesn't notice anything when they come back to it, right? Which is really cool. But what I've been doing is then the observer down here sees this block updated, right? So we got a double pulse here because this sees the state of the redstone dust go from off to on, or unpowered to powered, and then powered to unpowered. So you get 2 pulses, right? Which we actually want here. We want this to pick up the block and then drop it off back into place. Now down here, we also get 2 pulses. We have an observer reading this up here. It reads the block going from present to absent, and then from absent back to present. So we get 2 pulses here. However, the copper bulb acts as both a T flip-flop and a pulse limiter, and takes 2 pulses and limits it down to 1. And so we get 1 pulse coming out, and then whatever redstone device we have down here, we get the 1 pulse we want per button activation, right? Which is really cool. So let's do that again where I don't fall off the block. There we go. And so we press our button. We span the air gap with our pulse, our double pulse. It's reset, so it looks just as inconspicuous as before. And we get our single pulse transmitted across the air gap and down underneath where it can do its redstone magic. So this is pretty cool. And we use this throughout the maze in almost all of the maze features, almost all of them, right? Check this out. That was probably too fast for you to see. Let's do it again. I've improved it. So what happens now is what I've really done is I've taken the pulse limiter circuit from down here and kind of installed it right here. A little bit different configuration, but operates nearly identically. So when we press the button here, we get the T flip-flop pulse limiter activated immediately at the front. The observer sees it, pulls out a single pulse because you get a double pulse action from the button, right? But when it goes through the copper bulb, it's limited down to a single pulse. The observer sees the comparator go on and off, but only once. Because it stays on because it's reading the on state of the copper bulb, so it stays on. And so this only doesn't see a double pulse, it sees a single pulse. So it puts out a single pulse. The delayed repeater then just pushes this observer down. And when this observer moves from this position to that position, it sees a block update. And it sends its pulse through to power this block. And this block receives enough power for long enough to transmit a signal through the air and into this redstone down below, which I didn't know it could do that. I thought it would be too quick and too weak to transmit through a block and then through the air gap to the redstone. Technically, this isn't an air gap. This redstone dust is filling in this air block right here, this block space right here. So, but this charged block right here of polished blackstone is enough to power the redstone in this gap. It's really cool. So not only do I not have to pick up the block and put it down, because I'm, just temporarily pushing down the observer and then pulling it back up. Oh, hey, there it goes. Okay, it's 24 minutes in, but I'm talking about the chat now. The chats are running the automatic messages. Nice. Very, very nice. Cool. Okay. Maybe the first time going, it needed to do that. But anyways, yeah, so it just pushes this down. So we don't have to be pulling blocks up and pulling them down. And see, so there's no reset of these blocks. That's really cool. That's really cool. And what happens is this being so fast a pulse coming from the observer and carrying the pulse through this block, that the transmission is quicker than this is. And then compare. Look at how fast that goes. So cool. Here, I'll remove those so it's a little bit easier to see. It's so fast. It is so fast. And we could do things like, because often we need to extend that pulse with a rail. We should be able to do that. That should work. Oh, yeah. So nice. It's so nice. I love it. I absolutely love that. So now, does that mean I'm going to go update all of these button activation circuits with this one and retroactively put? Absolutely not. No. This works fine. This works fine for every dead end feature that we've installed it in. This works great. So we're just going to leave it. And this is still good in situations where, for example, maybe the space is a little bit too tight in here, and I don't have the length, the room to put this in here. This works better, right? So this is still a perfectly valid circuit here, right? This still does its thing just fine. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, folks. and it's definitely not broke. This thing's fine. It's just, to come up with this way of doing it is really cool. Oh, I love that. I'm such a Redstone nerd, but other Redstone nerds, you guys will appreciate that. You guys, you people will, friends, viewers, you'll appreciate that. Okay, so what are we going to do today? I'm thinking today, let's work on the teleport feature. So the idea behind this teleport feature is pretty much what it says. The player gets to a dead end, they press the button, they take their chance, and it will then teleport the player to a different part of the maze. This should be pretty easy to do. And in fact, we should be able to use our new style circuit for this. This would just be a command block with a teleport command on it, and the player presses the button there, activates the command block, and just moves the player. I think that's the easiest thing to do. So let's copy a command block from another location. Probably right from here. There we go. We'll copy that command block right there. And we'll go set this up. Let's study this a little bit. So we need copper bulb, comparator, observer, repeater set to 1 tick. The reason why we want the repeater set to 1 tick, because if it isn't, you might remember from Redstone review streams that this will drop the block off, and that's what we don't want. We want it to just push the block down so it'll make a connection and charge this block and then retract it back up, right? Cool. I love this thing. I love it. Okay, so we're looking for dead end, what was that, 21, I believe? Yeah, dead end 21. So let's go hunt that down. We'll also mark it with some sea lanterns so we can return to it very easily. Which one was that supposed to have been? I guess process of elimination, eventually we'll find out. We should be down in the teens here. The cool thing is now that this is color-coded, it's a little bit easier to find things through here. Over there. There's 20, so 21 should be down, maybe along this side somewhere. That's 23. Are some of them not marked with signs? 25. 26. 27. Okay. Let's make sure my numbering, that's 9.1, 23. And here I was just bragging about my color coding system. You know what might have happened, though, is some of our dead ends might have been changed when we opened things up, right? We did make some changes to the maze. Maybe we had inadvertently eliminated some of our dead ends. Yeah, there's 20. So 21 should have been like... Maybe this is 21. Well, it does say 21 right there. Okay, so we're good. We're good. Like this. Let's do this. Okay, this is cool. What I'm thinking on though, well, I always have the button on the right side, so that's very important. The other really cool thing is that this is a pretty tight space. So we can use our circuit here. We might have enough room. We might have to kind of replace it or place it in here. Kind of shoehorn it into place. But we have about that much room in which to work. So should be enough. Should be enough. Let's clear out some space here. I think we're good, right? He asked no one and got no answer. So answered himself. Let's do this. So the way we usually do a button is kind of like that. And I will always abbreviate button with BUTT because I have taught middle school boys. It's my middle school boy humor right there. Okay, so we're good there. Let's do that. I want to do a quick check. You know, this is not a dead end. This is actually the entrance to the open area. So yeah, that's a little bit of confusion there, but I think we're good. This goes over 2 and then does the button. Let's see what we've got for other dead ends here. That goes over 2. That will go over 2. And so, okay, all right. Now this, I don't know. This is a little bit tight for that. If we wanted to stay consistent, which I'm inclined to do so, we would actually do something like that. If we're going to stay. Now, I could put the button on the other side, but I'm trying to make everything look the same. I want all of the dead ends to be identical looking. Like this one's over 4, for example. Huh. Well, over 3 anyway. Usually let's take a quick survey here and see what we have. That one's over by 2. That one's over by 2. It looks like they're all, but that one's over by 3. Huh. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But I do want them to be all consistent looking. Yeah, some are 2 and some are 3. That's not good. Bah. Thunder. The heck. 2. Yeah, I'm certainly not going to do this on stream, but off stream, I'll update the buttons. I kind of like them being 2 blocks away like that. I don't mind them being 3 blocks away, but if it's 3 blocks away, then this one is not going to work out, right? Now, fleeing for your life from bloodthirsty baby zombies, I really don't think you're going to be counted blocks over. Oh, this button's 3 blocks away. That button's 2 blocks away. That tells me exactly where I am in the maze, and I can use that to my... Yeah, that's not going to happen. But I do like to keep things consistent. Okay, let's do this. That means that we're going to have to mirror our system over. Our circuit, which isn't a big deal at all. Let's do this. And I need my substrate, which is always smooth stone. Always smooth stone. So we can do that with our redstone dust. Redstone dust. Oh, but we wanted to use the new one, right? So that means we need a bulb. Bulbous Buffon. That's for Greener if he's lurking in the stream or watching the VOD later. Let's see. Yeah, so like that. Right? And then we had an observer looking into that. Observer. I think we're good with that for right now. Right. Or no. Comparator first. Comparator. Then observer looking at said comparator. No, not on top. Please. Yes, right there. Much betterer. And now we need another substrate. We need a repeater. Let's put that right here. Rinse and repeat. Right there. Come on, hands. You can do it. Repeater like this. Set to 1 tick. And then we need a sticky piston. And let's see, said sticky piston is going to point downward like that with a place. Observer like this. Cool. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of room to play around in here, so I've got to... All right, so it should activate this block, and then, there we go. Place, like this. Little redstone dust on top, like this. Okay, now we have to think about the command. Okay, so we should be all set. But let's test this first to make absolutely certain. And let's change that to that so it's a little bit easier to activate and see what happens. I'll just pull that out of there for right now. Please. Then we can do this. We'll set that up there, and we'll get a lamp. Like that. Set that like that. With this like this. And then we should... Oh, heck yeah. It's a thing of beauty, I tell you. I love that. See, I'm such a simple man. It doesn't take much to please Thunderhead. I think my neurons are firing a little better today because I got a visit from my friend, my colleague from the university. He decided to venture down from the high desert, around the mountains, down here onto the valley floor to come visit his old buddy. We went out to see the Spider-Man movie together, but then afterwards we came back for coffee and to shoot the crap like we always do and reminisce about old times on the Mass Department over at Cal Poly. We dragged poor Kachi into the conversation, but he did well. He was able to hang with the big dogs. My friend, other than being a brilliant mathematician, is also a brilliant coder. And so, Kachi's into the coding. So Kachi's at the point where he can hold down a conversation with my buddy, Magnificent B. So that was fun. That was fun. I got to send him on his way late into the evening. But that always gets the neurons firing, so I don't know. I'm going to attribute this morning's success with Redstone to having a visit from one of my colleagues yesterday. Okay, so I think we have this running well enough. We can replace this with the, please, with the command block. Like this. We said we would do something like that. Now this, I'm not entirely certain how I'm going to do this. Now I can use a teleport player command, but I have to be careful how to use it, because if I'm the MC of the game and I'm hovering, say, in spectator mode, and I'm here and I'm close to the player, and the player hits that and it's just teleport player, I think it's going to grab both of us. So I wanted to only teleport the contestant. So I think I can actually set the coordinates. Let's do this first, so we know here. This is our teleport feature. And let me see. I have 18 minutes left before I run ads. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Teleport with a question mark? No question mark. We are absolutely certain. Teleport. Now this should be pretty easy to do. And we can have these be the target blocks on which the player is standing. I think, you can set a sphere around the player, and you could set the radius of that sphere. So it'll say grab player within such and such proximity. So I'll look that up in just a moment. Let's do the easy thing though first, and let's decide where we're going to send the player. We cannot send the player to a bad place, people, okay? We can't. This is supposed to be a beneficial thing. It's supposed to be to the player's benefit, so we have to give the player a chance. But where should we send the player? Now, it would be, I was thinking initially, I should set up a randomizer. I should get the coordinates of several places throughout the maze and have a randomizer, and so it's different every time. But then I'm thinking, no, this is a beneficial thing. Let's have the player transported to a specific location, and we'll just keep it at that location. If the player comes around again and they hit it again, it'll send them to the same place, and they'll say, I've been here before. All right, I know where it sent me, right? So maybe I can use that to my advantage. So again, advantageous, not a huge advantage, but helps the player escape that dead end. Absolutely, right? That's an advantage. And then gives them a little extra advantage other than that, if they use it a second time, right? First time, they're like, I don't know where I am, right? So Again, you know, if a potential contestant is watching this and sees us set it up in a certain place in the maze and looks at the coordinates and happens to write them down, I don't think anybody's going to do that. Number one, I don't think anybody's in the stream right now. The other thing is, really, when you're running through here, being chased by baby zombies, you're going to have time to look at notes. No, you're not. You're not. As a former math teacher, when I tell you, oh, it's an open notes test. Yeah, that's chances are you're not going to have a lot of time to look at your notes, so don't spend too much time on those notes. You're not going to have a lot of time to look at them. Okay, let's pick a location. If the player's here, let's teleport them right there. I was thinking teleport them into the open area. But I don't know. Ugh. Maybe not. Far away is what I'm thinking. The good thing about this location is it's roughly at the center. I think that looks like it's the closest corner, but that's a dead end feature. So I'm going to rule that one out. This looks like the next closest corner right here. So I'm kind of thinking corners maybe. This looks like the furthest corner. But this corner is very near a dead end feature, a little bit closer than I would like. I'm kind of thinking this corner over here. Kind of thinking right here. So for right now, we're going to mark this with some red wool. Wait a minute. Now, let's just use the substrate for this right now. This will be good enough. Let's do this. Slab right here. And we'll swap out these blocks later. We obviously don't want these slabs to be this conspicuous. And you know what? I'm putting all these here and everything. I don't know if it's a radius. We want a specific target block, don't we? Yeah, so it's kind of pointless to do that. I'm thinking, and I don't know which way the player's going to face. I'm thinking this block right here is a good one. So we'll set the coordinates for this block and then remove this block, replace it with a slab. So the player will probably be a little bit above that and drop down on the block. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Let's go put these back. But I am going to mark this corner with sea lanterns just so it's faster to see when I'm hunting around because, you know, aged neurons, you know what I mean? I think you do. But let's put this over here. Like this. Okay, there we go. And that'll be our target block. Ugh. That's kind of odd. So my automated stream announcements are showing up in my chat. In my stream manager, but they don't look like they're appearing up there in the stream. Like I see the FOSSBot ones, but I don't see the Stream Elements ones. So again, I've made some announcement ones about joining the Generations community Discord and view the VODs on our YouTube channel and join the Buffooncraft Discord. And so they're supposed to rotate every 13 minutes. They don't appear to be doing that every 13 minutes. I do see them coming up, but I only see them up in the Stream Manager. I don't see them. I think they should be up there. I should see them in the stream. I have a chat field. I keep doing like this with my hand. It disappears in the webcam. But there's a chat field up there, and they should be appearing up there, and they're not. Looks like I'll be getting with Gemini and ChatGPT later and figuring out why that's not doing that. Okay, back to this, though. So we want to move the player, teleport them from there to there. And let me see, how am I doing? 51, I have a few minutes. So let me see, on the other display, which you cannot see, I'm going to, now there's a website that was really cool that first Boacars pointed me to, and then Flying Villager pointed me to, and that's for coding command blocks. And I should have saved that. I should have saved that to my bookmarks. There it is. That's what I'm trying to do. Let me take a quick look at this. Now, I could just look it up as fast by typing it into Google, having Gemini tell me what that is. But I want to go to that website. I want to normalize using that. Status mob generator. Okay, noise, right. Skins, right? Okay, cool. So status, Shockbite, Spotify's. All right, Stream Elements, right? Trigger Fire. And I don't see it. Maybe I can look it up in the Discord quite quickly here over on the iPad. Sure. Boacars DM'd me that. So I can just look at our conversations and pull it out of there. I'm certainly not going to spend all stream looking for this. If I can find it quickly enough, then I'll do so, but if not, I'll just type it into Google. And it looks like that's where I'm going with it. Yep. Looks like I'm looking it up. Ugh. Of course, I might recognize it from the search. Because there was a cool generator that you could access online. Flying Villagers used it too, where you can just type it into the fields, and it's a JavaScripted kind of thing, and it'll just output the code for you. It's kind of like Minecraft Stack exchange kind of thing. It's kind of like Stack Exchange, but for this, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I can't figure out what it is right now. I'll have to do that later. Ugh! Chances are we'll have to tweak this too. Which is why I wanted to find that source that they had sent me. Because that's pretty reliable. Let's try that. All right, I think we can use the nearest targets the nearest player to the command block, or limit equals 1, sort nearest. If I use the @p, that's @player, and it will do the it'll teleport the player that's nearest that, I assume nearest that command block. So if I'm the MC, the commentator, and I'm floating above when they get to here, and they're here, for example, this is the best place. I have the command block close to them. This is the best place. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to change the location of the command block, and I'm going to put it here, which is going to make a little bit more redstone, but not that bad. So let's do that. We'll do this. And then we'll activate this by sending the signal over to here. It's going to make a little bit of redstone for us, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. And you know what? We could still keep it quick. We could still keep it quick by using rails, probably. Rails. So let's do something like this. We'll do something like that. We'll bring this over to here. Looks like the shortest path to get over there. And I'm thinking maybe we can put a... God, that's going to be quick, though. That is going to be really quick. I'm thinking that we do this. Let's grab a sticky piston thusly. And what if I do that? And maybe, what if I put an observer on the end of that? Because that'll put a momentary pulse into the command block and then pull it back. And if I do this with a repeater, and I set that repeater there. And for the moment, let's not use a command block. Let us use a lamp, right, just for testing purposes. What I was going to do was to put rails here. It's so short, it's not even worth doing that, probably. Let's see. Something like that, maybe? It looks like that's what I want it to do. Although it's hard to see. I think we could see it a little better that way. That's exactly what we want. Nice! Okay, now we can put our command block into place. Love it when a plan comes together, you know what I'm saying? Okay, and then we're going to put in our code. How am I doing for time here? Actually, I need to take a quick ad break, run 3 minutes of ads, after which I will be right back. Hey there, and we're back. Get myself a drink here to wet my whistle. How come the screen is all black? What's going on? There it is. You know what? Do I have that memory hog Discord open right now? No, I don't. I do not. Okay. By the way, the website, the coding command block syntax website that I was speaking of earlier, that Boakars and Flying Villager had pointed me to, that's called MC Stacker. So during the break, I took a look at it. Really cool. So I have added it to my bookmarks. So it should be faster to find next time during the stream. Okay, let's head on over. Oh, let's just try this first. Let's get on down into here. And so we have our button activation circuit here, right? Although we have it mirrored from the way I demonstrated it over there, which is the very cool thing about it, right? In fact, it'd probably be better to put the testing button down there, right? Because it's a little easier to reach, and then we can see things a little better. Then we'll need to leave that one on, but we can take these ones off just so we can see what we're doing, right? There we go. That way we can watch things as they happen. Right, and then we'll put these blocks back after, of course. Let's get over to here. I want to give myself something to stand on here. There we go. We'll remove the stuff afterwards. Okay, let me see. I'm going to need something like, first of all, / the teleport command, and then it should be, oh, you know what? We're going to need, before we do that, we need our coords. Let's get those on the clipboard, all right? The clipboard. And what we can do is we can start the teleport command over here. Right, and we could do this and make sure, okay, we're on what? Targeted block. I have to enable that, right? But as long as my crosshairs are on the block, I think I'm good. So I could do something like this. And let me think. I could do TP. I can do add player. Now I'm going to be the nearest player, so it's going to teleport me. And then it should give me the coordinates, right? No. Arc. Maybe it wants that. And then I think I'm going to have to put them in. This says I don't, though, but this might be antiquated. These might be antiquated. For example, see, that's why I want targeted block enabled right now, please. But see, I have to go into the, and I think I have to go in and set my GUI, which is what, F6, I think it is. No, that's that. Let me see. Hidden bandwidth ping to edit, press, debug charts. Oh, is it F3 plus 6? Nope. F3 plus F6? Maybe. There's Tone. Welcome on in, Tone. Hey, I saw I was lurking in your stream a little bit earlier. Doing a little bit of the spooky stuff. Sure, sure. And thanks for my favorite redeem of all. I think it's F3 plus F6 will do this, right? There it is. Right, and I want to see targeted block. Biome, let me see. I don't see anything on there that looks like targeted block. Player position. Chunk section, visualize entity hitboxes, light levels, FPS, render states, generated states. Nah. Good Lord. Yeah, a little. I might died twice. I was lucky. I've not played Phasmo yet. I would like to. I was talking about Angel Bayou and myself were talking about doing a Phasmo stream together. So I invited her to reach out to me and set it up, but she has yet to do so. But if she would, I would greatly enjoy that. Was there a raid while I was out? This game looks crazy. What's it about? Ah, yeah, okay, I see the raid message now. See, I usually have a sound that accompanies that. And it's somewhat disabled right now. I thought you were just dropping in to say hi. Thank you for the raid. My good friend, Waylander Toad. Bearded Yokai. Hey, my son Kachi has been a longtime Yokai Watch friend, fan. So, I guess I'll refer to you as Bearded. So, this is our Not So mini game that we've been working on for a very, very long time. It's basically a maze runner game. It's a single player, and so I'll invite a player onto the server. The player is released into the maze, and only seconds behind, also released into the maze, is a horde of bloodthirsty baby zombies. Hence the name, A Baby Zombie Rush. And the player tries to make it through the maze and exit the maze. There's certain criteria. At each of the dead ends, there are dead end features. The player can... where's one that we've recently completed? Right down here. Say the player is being pursued by bloodthirsty baby zombies. They come down here to a dead end, right here. The player can juke the baby zombies and get around them. It's not easy to do, but it is possible. Well, we haven't completed it yet, so we're still working on it. We've been working on it forever. Yeah, the player can juke the baby zombies, or the player can take a chance and press the button. At each dead end, there's a button like this. It is unmarked. And something beneficial to the player can happen. Something detrimental to the player can happen. Or something kind of neutral, right? This one has summoned baby zombies. So if I were in survival mode, baby zombies would come out running out after me. There they go. Oh my God. And see, we've got to run, right? They're after us. It's terrifying. We have a dead end here, but we see, we were already low. But that's the idea, right? And some of these things are beneficial, some of them are detrimental, some of them are kind of neutral. The one we're working on right now, um, the player will come down to here, they'll press the button, and it will teleport them from one section of the maze to the other section of the maze. So if you're trapped in that corner, baby zombies all over you, you can try to juke them, or you can hit the button and it'll teleport you out. I am hoping to be invited to fail miserably. Kumakwa will be the first one on the maze to run the maze. After that, it's first come, first serve. So get in touch, and we'll schedule. I'm going to have a rubric in place that I'm going to come up with, and it will to score the players, and probably at the end of each year or something, we will stack up the scores, and we'll see how everybody did to compete with each other and stuff. So then we'll post it on our public Discord. Right, that would be interesting to do and stream on both sides. It'd be cool if one person controlled the horde of baby zombies so they could run. Well, yeah, that's my plan. So I'll have, say, Tone comes on to run the stream. I'll be like he'll be streaming it from his point of view. And of course, I'll be streaming it from my point of view. I'll be the MC. So I'll be operating like the main entrance. So the player goes into there. You can see where the baby zombies will be spawned next behind these gates. And then I can open the gate, let the player run in, and then open the baby zombie gates, and they'll all flood in after them. So close the gate behind them, and then they're off. And then the player has to run for their life through the maze and try to escape the baby zombies. Oh, thanks, man. It's, I started this many years ago. I only work on it like 2 hours every other week for this stream. I really don't work on it much outside of the stream. And I haven't been in that much of a hurry to finish it because this stream is really, I'd like to finish the game and run it. But the main purpose of this stream and this game is to really learn about Redstone, right? So that's the idea behind this. And so I incorporate a lot of Redstone into this game just so I can learn it and I can get better at it. And the viewers can also follow along and they can get better at Redstone as well. So that's why I've been, languishing so long on this game. But you can see most of the Redstone circuitry is in the walls here, and then a lot of the redstone mechanisms are underneath. Let me go get my night vision back on because after I died there, I lost my night vision. So let me go turn that back on. Give player night vision. There we go. Let's go record my coordinates right here. Let's see. Do my F3. And let's do teleport. Let's just type them right in. We'll teleport. And let's leave this out so it'll break, and then we'll fix it when it's over there. You'll see what I'm doing. I'm going to copy and paste this in. So I'll leave the @ there, and now I'll do, should be 652, should be 73, but it may be a block too high. We might have to adjust the height. And then -16, 45, 45 right there. And then you'll see, now that should break, But now we can copy it into the command block over here. We'll add the missing part, and then we should be good. And then we'll test it out. We'll see what happens. Yeah, here we are. All right, so we can go like this now. We can go, let's do this. Actually, we'll go like that. Select all. Control C, like this. Now we can just go right up into here. We can go Control V, paste it in, and then when we do, we can put the @ like that, and that should do it. Okay, now if the player is here, let's do this. And there we go. I've been teleported. Awesome. I'll be lurking. Got to work on. I'll definitely come back. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you so much for dropping in, man. All right, so it works. That was actually pretty easy to do. Nice. Again, my concern is that it might grab me if I'm hovering above the contestant. But since I put the block right beneath the contestant's feet, you can see that the block is right there. I think the player is going to be like right here or so, and I think that as long as they're here, they'll be fine. Because the proximity will be their proximity to the command block. The player should always be closer to the command block than I am above them. So I think we're going to call this done. How am I doing time-wise? Should be cool. Let's do that. Let's button up. Let's close up. And we'll call this one finished. I think we're good. I'm going to leave that open. Let's go over to here and replace this with a slab. And then I want to see how far we drop or whatever. Yeah, we might tweak this a little bit. So if I'm here like this, that's fine. That's fine. I like it. That's pretty good. It's quite instantaneous too. So if the player's like this, juking baby zombies, they come, oh my god, I'm getting hit. I like this, and I'm gonna run out, and pow, you're in a different part of the maze. Nice. Cool. I didn't expect that one to be too difficult to do, but God, you never know, right? Let's do this, and we'll make a beneficial one. Please, Thunder, please. Control scroll wheel. We'll just borrow that sign. 21, teleport. So let's update this. 21, dot like this. That. We have this one in place over here now. So cool. And now we'll do the same over there. We'll update it on our progress board now. Oh, before we do that, let's just copy this sign because, you know, typing being such a chore for yours truly. Like that. Cool. Progress board. Nice. Okay, for those of you just joining us, so here's the progress board. There are 27 dead ends in our maze. So I'm thinking of having 3 groups of 9. I'll have 9 beneficial dead end features that help the player. I'll have 9 kind of neutral, chaotic neutral, as the D&Ders would say. And then I'll have 9 detrimental features in the maze. And that should cover all 27, and then we're done. Then we can run it. There'll be some decoration that'll have to happen. One of the other things that will happen is I'll be using either Lightmatica, World Edit, or both to duplicate this completed maze to that location and that location. I'd like the player to have the option of 3 tries at it per visit, and that helps me not have to reset the maze each time. So, so that's my plan for that. In fact, I might even make 4 of these, and I might preserve one so I can go back and just reset all 3 by copying the master one back in its place. That's probably going to be the best thing to do. And I might be able to put that on a command block. Maybe. I think Flying Villager has a method for doing that. But that's going to be cool. Let's remove this now. And now we have time for the rest of the stream. We can decide what our next feature is going to be. And then we can pose for our thumbnail, and then we're good. Okay, let's see. Drop into the void. We have nuke, and then we have a whole bunch of blank dead ends in which we could build something. We need something beneficial. We need something beneficial that's going to help the player. Some of them we could duplicate by transporting them to different parts of the maze. We could do something like that. We could duplicate another beacon feature. The beacon feature turned out pretty cool. I don't know, those of you just joining us. That's the teleport. There's the beacon feature. There it is. Getting a little lag today. But you can see the beacons will come on. There's 4 of them. And then they'll give us 4 different features, 4 different abilities. One of the things I wanted to do was to fix that. So one of them is a speed boost. Definitely. We could do that. And then you'll see that that's going to reset in just a moment. It's set for about a minute. Surprised that's actually quite long. Did it break already? No, there it goes. Okay, now it's off. You can see a lot of our redstone is down here below. So what do we have here? Here we have strength, resistance, jump boost 2, and resistance again. This one should be speed. Okay, so we need to do that. I need an emerald. Cool. Didn't look like it took, though. Okay. Have I forgotten how to use beacons again? I think it's like that. With that like that, and that like that. There we go. Much better. All right, let's crank it up and let's see what happens. Is this it? Yeah, I think it is. All right, so when I go like this, beacon should come on. And here come the effects. There they are. Looks like I have speed, resistance, I have regen, jump boost, and the strength. And that's cool. That's cool. I'm definitely up for that. Meaning I'm satisfied with that. One, two, three, four, and then the regen gives us 5. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, speed is critical. But see, the player can kind of use the beams a little bit to maybe get some of their bearings. But now see, the beams go out, and now you have, I think it's 13 to 17 seconds of the effects before they wear off. And then the effects are done. So it helps you escape, basically, is what it does. After I see some people run the maze, I'm definitely going to be taking notes, and I may make changes to the maze afterwards. There's going to be some test runs first, but the first initial, or I should say the first official runs will be after the testing. So. Okay, so what's a beneficial thing to help the player? Now, see, Kachi is home right now, and he's not particularly busy. If it was a detrimental thing to harm the player, then I would ask Kachi, hey, son, come on in, give me a hand here. But something to help the player. What would help the player flee from baby zombies? We could maybe spawn some iron golems in, right? Spawning iron golems in is actually pretty funny, because if the player accidentally hits the iron golem, then the iron golem might aggro. You know what? I'm thinking snow golems too. I'm thinking snow golems. Snow golems might be pretty funny. For example, if I have let's do something like this. If I do that, let's get a snow golem. Nice. Let's put that guy out there. Let's put a couple of these dudes around like this. Then if I get a zombie, I do something like that. There they go. Okay, that's good because the baby zombies are distracted by the snow golems. That's good. But wow, the snow golems don't really last that long against them. That's good. That's actually a good thing. And then it's a matter of how long the snow lasts, too, right? Because the snow could, if the player returns here, could remind the player of where they're at. Which you think would be a bad thing, but like I said, you know, we've got to try to help the player out. So what do you think? Snow golems? A snow golem dispenser? And, you know, you got to think of what's going to look the funniest, too, right? If we were going to do something like that, I mean, look at all the dead ends that we can use here. By the way, if I haven't done the color coding, the green is beneficial, the purple is detrimental, and the gray is neutral. The red stuff is just stuff we haven't done yet. So you can see we have a number of these dead ends here that still haven't been assigned. See, I'll tell you what I have running through my head right now. I'm picturing a nice long stretch. Something like this. And then, you know, the snow golems popping out of the walls all the way down. All right, there's a dead end there that's already taken with something else. Yeah, see, I'm thinking something like this wouldn't be so good for that kind of a thing. I really like the idea of one of these really long stretches being open for that. For example, this dead end here feature would have been ideal for that, right? But we have a couple of long stretches along the maze that are similar to that. This one's pretty long, but both of these dead ends are already assigned and built. We do have this one. This one is very long, but I don't have a dead end nearby for that. This is the Aqua Parkour, so we do have that dead end. This one's already assigned. Yeah, that one's not ideal for that. This one might not be bad. I mean, we have this on either side. You could activate the button here. You could put the snow golems in this long pillar and they would be on either side. Put some right along the outside wall here. The thing I'm concerned about, though, is the iron golems here would not be able to reach the very short baby zombies down here. It would be kind of cool if they popped up here underneath. The baby zombies wouldn't be able to kill him. But I don't know. I'm thinking maybe having them in the maze, probably not. But having them drop, I mean, having them in the walls, probably not. I'm thinking it would just look funny to see them shooting out from the walls. That would look like the funniest thing. But I don't know. I'm thinking having them in the maze is better. That way, the baby zombies can kill them off, right? But instead of using a command block and just having them appear, it would be funny if they kind of popped up from like underneath the floor or popped out of the walls or something like that. That would be the funniest thing, I'm thinking. Yeah, I really don't have a plan for that. I think snow golems would be funnier than iron golems. And the cool thing is, we can plan their locations. Like if the player were here and pressed the button, you could have that wall open up and you could dispense the eggs here. Or you could have a couple of different places, like here. I think the golems would hop off the walls themselves. So let's just test that out. Let's see what happens, for example, if we have a compartment like right here. And we'll do something like this. We have a zombie egg. And then say we have a snow golem egg, like right here. And then if we're doing babies, I do something like that. And I think if I spawn them here. Okay, cool. Then if I do this, I think they'll just come on out like that. I'm trying to get a thumbnail. That battle looked so cool. But look, he's not dropping all the way out, so that's kind of cool. But if there's enough of them, they will. And look, the baby zombie can't quite get them. That's cool. He did finally perish, though. And what happens if they're out and about like this? Huh? Did my stream freeze? Uh-oh. We're getting stream lag. I wonder. What is going on? We may have to end stream a little bit early. I'm getting severe stream lag. Not cool. All right, well, I guess I'm going to wrap things up right here. We're pretty close to the end of the stream. We have 10, maybe 13 minutes. But since my stream is completely nuked, which I haven't had this in years. Wow. Can't imagine what's going on with it. I'm thinking maybe the Stream Elements bot that is running the announcements. I wonder if that's killing the... I wonder if that's making lag in the stream. I wonder. Huh. Okay, at any rate, I'm going to wrap up the stream at this point. Everybody, thank you so much for... I'm not going to raid out today, but I do appreciate Waylander Tone coming in with the raid. Just remember that we usually do Kachi's time on Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Next week, we'll see what Kachi's doing, see if he feels up to it. Our next stream should be on Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that will be Generations. Since we've done Baby Zombie Rush today, we will be in the Survival 5 world. The stream after that will be Buffooncraft SMP Season 6, and that'll be from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time for that as well. Okay, everybody, yeah, I'm a little bit stressed because the stream isn't running well here. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your evening, your morning, your afternoon, wherever you happen to be. Join us again next time. Bye for now.